In our last video, we were in Montgomery, Alabama, where we took a stroll along the waterfront, checked out the historical downtown and Capital District, and learned about this city's important role in the civil rights movement in the United States. In this video,
we're in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi is the second stop on our return trip home of what we're calling Wanderlust 2022, our epic journey from Kansas to Central Florida and back again. As usual, Carol, let's start off by giving us a little history of the city.
Tupelo, Mississippi was incorporated in 1866. One of the U.S.'s most deadly tornadoes went through there in 1936 and devastated most of the city. However, they rebuilt. Current population is over 37,000.
Yeah, that really surprised me and shows how ignorant I am regarding the weather across the United States. You always associate the tornadoes with the Midwest, and of course, having lived in Kansas for the past couple of years, we've seen firsthand their devastation.
Of course, Tupelo's claim to fame is that it is the birthplace of Elvis Presley, and they definitely show you this throughout the city.
Yeah, certainly Elvis is alive and well in Tupelo. There was a big movie that was released this summer, which I suspect helped that. But yeah, you can't walk more than about 15 feet without seeing some kind of commemoration to the man, mostly in murals and paintings, things like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, even a lot of the buildings have placards commemorating how Elvis may have interacted with this business, like the one we're about to see here. One thing that's really cool in a town this size, because it's a pretty small city, is that you can find live music every night of the week.
Yeah, of course, this area of the United States played a huge role in the development of American music with the blues, gospel, and a lot of other influences that can still be heard in music today. But with Elvis and music aside, let's talk a little bit about this visit. Where are we right now, Carol?
Well, we started our journey getting some delicious barbecue at Kermit's Soul Kitchen. Then we went towards City Hall and started walking around downtown. Downtown is really cute. It is full of shops, art galleries, and lots of restaurants.
As with all of our videos, this really focuses primarily on the heart of the downtown area, although we do end it with the trip to Elvis's birthplace. While our trip to Central Florida was fairly well planned, our return trip was not, for reasons we'll get to in a future video. So this wasn't something that we really planned to do, but when we mapped out our return home journey and saw we were close, there was no way we could miss the opportunity to see this little town.
This was our first time ever in Mississippi, and we had a great time. It was definitely hot and humid being Labor Day weekend, but we really enjoyed it. Here we are at the Tupelo Hardware Company. As the story goes, Elvis's mom took him in there when he was 11 in 1946 to get him a birthday present. What the legend says is that he really wanted a rifle, but his mom would not buy him one, and so the store owner gave him a guitar to try. 10 years later, the rest was history when he had his first gold record.
As you can see, the downtown core ends rather abruptly, but we decided to walk a little further just to see what was at the other end.
This sign commemorates Shake Rag, which was an African-American community in Tupelo. In the 1920s, there were many performers, jazz and blues, in this area at the restaurants and cafes.
Yeah, unfortunately, the neighborhood was demolished in the 60s as part of an urban renewal project. So at this point, it didn't look like there was much more on the horizon, so we crossed the street and started heading back on the other side.
The area's influence of jazz, blues, and gospel on young Elvis was evident, and when he was 10 years old, he had his first performance in a talent show here in this park where he took 5th place.
5th place, huh? 1 through 4 must have been something pretty amazing.
Agreed.
In the center of the park, you'll find a statue of the man as well as some placards giving some more history. With that, it's time for an update.
Today we're in Tupelo, Mississippi, birthplace of Elvis. We started with a yummy barbecue lunch, and now we're checking out downtown.
We're here on the Friday of Labor Day weekend. Clearly looks like the town is gearing up for some kind of festivities, which is awesome, good for them. It also means that our time here needs to be short because I think we're going to get blocked in. So enjoy the cool little town in Mississippi. Clearly the Elvis theme is absolutely everywhere, but we're having a great time.
What I loved about downtown is even the new buildings were built to fit in with the old buildings, so it had a really cohesive feel to it.
Yeah, to be fair, that seems to be a trend we're recognizing all across the United States. When we first started extensively traveling about 20 years ago, oftentimes the downtowns were the most dilapidated and, quite frankly, sad parts of the cities. But lately, it's been exactly the opposite. We can definitely tell there's a revitalization going on, and it's fantastic to see.
We always like to find fun facts about a city. It was pretty hard to find something about Tupelo that wasn't Elvis related. And this is sort of about Tupelo. I just assumed that the famous Tupelo honey came from Tupelo, Mississippi. Apparently, that's a common misconception. Tupelo honey is actually only produced in a specific part of Georgia and the Florida Panhandle, not from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah, thanks to the magic of the phones, the Tupelo tree is actually where it got its name. Here comes the obligatory tourist picture. I wonder how many times that thing gets photographed in any given year.
Can't even imagine. We really tried to make this video not all about Elvis, but here is a fun fact that surprised us both. While Elvis won 3 Grammys during his lifetime, they were all for gospel music, despite the fact that he was the king of rock and roll. As we've said in other videos, be sure to get off the beaten path. We love going down the alleys and oftentimes find really great murals and other street art.
As As I stated earlier, the town was gearing up for some kind of Labor Day festival, and there were signs they were going to start blocking some of the streets. So it was time to wrap up our time downtown, but before leaving, we had to go visit one last place. I'm pretty sure you can guess where that is, so we'll see you there.
We couldn't leave Tupelo without seeing the birthplace of Elvis. Over 100,000 people visit this museum every year.
Our policy, especially in a post-COVID world, is not to show paid attractions, but given that this house can be seen from the street, we decided to go ahead and show it. With that said, let's wrap this up. All right, as we stand here at the birth home of Elvis Presley, what did you think of Tupelo, Mississippi?
I loved Tupelo. I like how they took the Elvis theme throughout downtown, and what a cute little city.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know that this was his birthplace when you got here, you didn't make it 5 feet before you knew. I mean, the whole town is clearly dedicated to the man, and for good reason. And this was a very popular year with the movie that was released this summer. So yeah, thumbs up for me.
Me too.
All right, get off the couch. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.